Welcome to Earth and Time Chronicles, where history is not just told, it is uncovered. Here, we journey beyond monuments and myths, exploring lost civilizations, forgotten rulers, ancient mysteries, and the hidden forces that shaped our world. If you're fascinated by buried truths, erased histories, and discoveries across Earth and time, you are in the right place. Let the chronicle begin. Part 2: The Female Kings and Transitional Rulers. In this chapter, Earth and Time Chronicles explores the overlooked pharaohs, including early female kings and short-reign rulers who held Egypt together during unstable transitions. These were the bridge rulers between great dynasties. The rulers who shouldn't have existed. History often remembers what fits the pattern. In ancient Egypt, that pattern seemed clear: a king, a male ruler, a divine son of the sun god. But reality was more complicated. At several moments in Egyptian history, when dynasties fractured and royal bloodlines weakened, the throne passed to rulers who did not fit the expected mold. Women ruled as pharaoh, caretakers became kings, advisors became monarchs, regents became sovereigns. These transitional rulers held Egypt together during fragile moments. But later dynasties often treated them as interruptions, not true kings. And so, many of their stories were minimized, edited, or erased. Today we begin with one of the earliest and most overlooked female pharaohs in Egyptian history, Sobekneferu. Sobekneferu, the woman who took the full throne. Sobekneferu ruled around 1800 BCE, at the very end of Egypt's Middle Kingdom. Her rise came at a dangerous time. The great dynasty that built stability and wealth was ending. Royal succession was uncertain. The male royal line had weakened. Instead of allowing civil war, a woman stepped forward, not as queen but as pharaoh. This was extremely rare. Earlier women had ruled as regents for child kings. But Sobekneferu took full royal titulary, the complete five-name pharaonic protocol used only by sovereign rulers. She did not present herself as wife of the king. She presented herself as king. In inscriptions, she appears wearing royal regalia, sometimes in traditional male costume, sometimes blending male and female elements. This was political messaging. She was telling Egypt, the throne is occupied, order continues, the gods still approve. Why her name matters. Her name connects her to the crocodile god Sobek, a powerful and sometimes feared deity associated with strength, fertility, and royal authority. Sobek was especially important in the Fayum region, a fertile oasis area heavily developed by the previous kings. By linking herself to Sobek, she tied her rule to divine protection and regional loyalty. Names in Egypt were never random. They were strategy carved in language. But Sobekneferu faced a structural problem: legitimacy in a male-dominated royal ideology. She could rule, but the system did not comfortably accept her. And when systems feel uncomfortable, they often try to correct the record later. Her achievements, quiet but critical. Sobekneferu ruled for roughly 4 years. Short but not insignificant. Archaeological evidence suggests she completed building projects begun by her predecessor, likely Amenemhat IV. She maintained temple construction, continued administrative systems, preserved economic networks. This matters. Transitional reigns often collapse. Hers did not. But because she did not launch massive conquest campaigns or build giant monuments, later generations had fewer grand reminders of her rule. And memory in Egypt depended heavily on stone scale. Small monument, small memory. The dynasty ends, and so does her visibility. After her death, the Middle Kingdom dynasty ended. Egypt entered a more unstable era, what historians call the Second Intermediate Period. When dynasties fall, their final rulers often receive blame, fair or not. Later king lists, official historical records carved centuries afterward, frequently omitted Sobekneferu entirely. Not always maliciously, sometimes politically convenient, but omission has the same effect as erasure. For thousands of years, she became a historical footnote. Only modern archaeology restored her place. Other women who ruled but were minimized. Sobekneferu was not alone, only early. Egypt had other female rulers, but many were later rewritten as exceptions rather than sovereigns. Some were labeled merely regions, even when evidence suggests independent rule. Others were merged into male successors' records. Why? Because later periods preferred a clean narrative of uninterrupted male kingship. Historical editing is often about comfort, not accuracy. The transitional kings, rulers between stability. Now we turn to another forgotten group, transitional pharaohs. These rulers appear between strong dynasties, often during power transfers, short reigns, or internal disputes. They usually share three traits: short rule, few monuments, later overshadowed. Some ruled for only months. Some controlled only part of Egypt. Some were rivals claiming the same throne simultaneously. To later historians, they were inconvenient. To their own time, they were critical, because without transitional rulers, states collapse. The problem of short reigns. Egyptian historical memory runs on monuments. Long reign equals many monuments equals strong memory. Short reign equals few monuments equals weak memory. If a pharaoh ruled 2 years, there was barely time to commission statues, build temples, carve victory scenes, complete tomb complexes. If that short-reign king was followed by a powerful successor, their limited monuments were often reused and recarved. Stone was valuable, quarries were distant, recycling monuments was common practice, which means later kings sometimes literally built their legacy on top of earlier forgotten rulers. When caretakers became kings, another category of forgotten pharaohs were caretakers who rose to power: viziers, generals, advisors, high priests. When royal heirs were weak or absent, these officials sometimes assumed the throne, temporarily or permanently. But later royal families often labeled them illegitimate. Their reigns were shortened in records, their names minimized, their monuments reassigned. Yet without them, the state might have fractured. Power sometimes survives through pragmatists, not heirs. Why transitional rulers matter today. Modern archaeology increasingly recognizes that stability is not built only by great conquerors and monument builders. It is also built by administrators, caretakers, bridge rulers, crisis managers, short-term stabilizers. These rulers rarely receive glory, but they prevent collapse. Ancient Egypt survived for millennia not only because of famous kings, but because of these forgotten ones. They were the joints between the stones, invisible but structural. Transition to the next chapter. In the next part of our journey, we enter one of the most chaotic chapters of Egyptian royal history: a religious revolution, a broken pantheon, a king who tried to change the gods, and the shadow rulers who followed him. Some ruled briefly, some were erased deliberately, some survive only through fragments. This is the era after Akhenaten, the most politically dangerous throne in Egypt, and the forgotten pharaohs who inherited it. These rulers broke tradition, and history tried to push them into silence. But their story doesn't end here. After the fall of these unusual pharaohs, Egypt entered one of its most mysterious transitions, where shadow rulers briefly held power and vanished almost overnight. In Part 3, we step into the era of the shadow pharaohs. Continue the journey. Part 3 is linked on your screen now.